Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? Let's see who's in the house here. We've got Heartland HQ with Dink and Tank and Marianne Bimler. There's Linda Peterson and Heather Lanscrum and Fisherman 506. There's Farm All Fanatic again. Good evening and thanks for stopping in. Hey, Jason? Is that Jason or is it Tara? Good evening. Thanks for coming in. White Rock Homestead. And then there we got Old Man King Homestead and 9 Acre Family Farm. And there's the MT Homestead. Treasure Hunter. Leanne Gunther. Lori's Prepping for Heaven. There's my buddy Chris. Adventure Awaits. There's Reverend Joe Jacobson. And Duncan Family Farm. Just a second, I did not put the link up yet. Link. Paste and enter, and they're up there, pinned at top. And there you go, people. This is an open mic. Anybody is welcome to come in. Tell us about your week. Let's see. Be nice to see you again, Jason. I've been thinking about messaging you and catching up a little bit. I haven't talked in a while. Be cool. There's Damoosh, 1829. Oh, this is where I have to think of stories, huh? Stories to tell. Well, I've been working pretty diligently on the rooms, the 4 rooms that I'm working on. Got a lot of trim up this last couple of weeks, and I've got some door hinges. I have to set a door and figure out how I'm going to trim out around that tomorrow. I'm actually looking forward to that. Seems like a fun little project. Rebel at Heart is in here. Good evening. And there's Hiking with Jackie Boy. He's loving retirement, I'm sure. We still have to go get some recliner chairs. Our recliner chairs we have here are just done. They're done. All their leather, pleather, fake flake is falling off. Hey, there's Johnny Gillum. Gillum Farms. I was wondering if we were gonna see him tonight. I didn't see him in the other lives. Yeah, they definitely need to be replaced. And we did go to a furniture store a couple of weeks ago. We went to Jamestown, and that place just did not have anything. Or hopefully, or hoping that when we go tomorrow, if we do go, that they'll have some in Buffalo. Because I want to get a new chair. This one's crinking on my back. Actually, both the one in my house and the one out here in the barn are identical. And both of them are identically done. There's Johnny Foster. Thanks for coming in. And so that's happening. We still have the same ice on the ground. It is covered with snow. So I fell again, people, today. But not nearly as bad. I don't even think I hurt myself. I think it just scared me. And I had Dexter on the leash. And, of course, you fall. You go, you got the poor dog on the leash. But I don't think I snatched him that bad. So He's not mad at me or anything. Probably was laughing. There's who did I see? Todd Leginus is in here. Good evening. Thanks for popping in. Again, this is an open mic. Anybody's able to come in if they want to and tell us what they've been doing. I know we got meetups coming up, and they're going to come faster than you think. I'm already, we're 2 months away from the first one. For most of you will be Tin Killer, and for me and others, we got Bar Run Forge. April's only, let's see, we got half of February, March, half of April, and we're there already. Jeez. Time is flying. And for those of you that are in the Ohio region or don't mind traveling 5 or 6 hours or whatever, the Bar Run Forge meeting is April 25th, 6th, and 7th. All are welcome to that. Had a great time last time that I went. That was 2 years ago. And he has different setups. Before it was just forging. Now it's forging and woodworking and metalworking. He's got a huge metal lathe, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go see that stuff. And that same weekend is Tin Killer. So if you guys haven't got your reservations for that yet, and you plan on going, you better start doing it, because you never know. Could be all booked. And then we got the Mid-America meetup on the, I'm not sure of the dates. It's right smack in the month. And that's at Eufaula. Had to get through the ad. I only put it every 30 minutes, so I don't like putting the ads on, but I don't know how many times I didn't put the ads on with the intention of putting on after the live and then forgetting for 2 days and going, I didn't collect anything off of those ads because I forgot to set it up. Journey Smile. That's new to me. Thanks for coming in. There's Ace. How you doing? Discount on the recliner. Wait, what did you say? Where it just jumped? Discount on recliners. Ooh, look at who we got. Wow, thanks for coming in. I really have been thinking about you and how I haven't seen you in a long time, and don't want you to think I just stopped by your place and talk to you again.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of a lot of what we do is we're busy in our own stuff.
It doesn't mean I care just as much as I did last time I saw you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We get it. I mean, we've tossed the idea around, like, how great would it be if we could just have little minions that did all of our homesteading stuff for us so that we could just full-time travel and visit all the homesteads and YouTube channels and friends that we've made. How amazing would that be? But it's not a reality.
Well, we're going to see each other anyway because Mid-America meetup.
Right.
That'll be cool. So catch me up a little bit on what you've been doing. I'm going to be honest and say I've lost track of a lot of people, and just like you probably could say the same thing.
Well, that's the ongoing kind of conversation, right? Amongst a lot of YouTube channels is, when you start off and you're real small and you have, 100, 500, even 1,000 subs, something like that. And you really don't know a lot of people within YouTube that you've become friends with outside of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have all day long to sit there and watch all the channels, keep up with all the information, and do all those things. But when you get to a level like we're at,
hey Tara,
hi, you literally live of your friends and contacts and everybody that you know, you live through thumbnails. You're piecing together based on their thumbnail.
And you be pretty accurate with what you're thinking about it too.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. I remember early on, you know, we were talking about it and we're like, hey, we're going to be adamant about doing this, this, and this. And, you know, a lot of the things we still are. We're able to maintain it and do that. And we had kind of told ourselves, hey, no matter what, we're going to watch our friends' videos, the people we want to love and support, because, you know, we talk about community and promoting those things. But then if you won't watch your own friend's video that is supporting, you know, a lot of them, that's their livelihood is the views on YouTube. But then when you gain so many friends, how do you have time to do your own thing? Like, you're going to be stuck behind a computer, TV, some sort of electronic device trying to watch everybody, and there's just not enough hours in the day.
That's why the lives are great, because you can stop in and catch up a little bit and feel like you're still connected.
Yeah.
There's no judgment here with Tish Ross came in. Good evening. How did you like that short I sent you? Bar Run Forge. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah. I think you have less than 2 months or 2 months before your meetup, Bar Run Forge. If I did the calculation right.
I made sure of it. I'll throw this out there. Jennifer's talking about my frame back here. Amazing that it was made, and yes, I made sure before we clicked the camera on that it was nice and level just for Jennifer.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, we've been busy here in the studio. The weather has not allowed us to get to the point that we thought we would be. And of course, we did take the trip and went and visited some more friends over on the west side of Arkansas, and celebrated Tim over at Ridge Life's retirement. That was super fun. But yeah, the weather has been not cooperating since we've gotten home. We really thought we'd be a lot further on the studio, but we got this far, and this is gooder enough for us right now.
Gooder enough?
Yeah.
The whacking stick. Whacking stick. Now I forgot what it is because I screwed myself up. It's the Whacking Shack. Tish is laughing at the message I sent. We were talking about barking dogs and that little dog. Sorry, I was just trying to let you know there was a burglar in the house. Next time I'll let the burglar get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least you're dried in now and you don't have to worry about that anymore. I did see your thumbnail.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Actually, that's not true. I think it was a Facebook, what do they call it? Short or something like that. What do they call shorts on Facebook?
The Reels.
That's what I saw. You guys were putting.
Yeah, no, we're dried in, and we actually have power out to here. I mean, we still run a power bank as a backup, but it's, I mean, as you see right here, you know, we've got power on 2 walls anyways, because that's all the room I have right now. We have to kind of, and that's where I'm saying the weather isn't cooperating, because we're at a point now I have to pull stuff out and let it set outside before we can kind of finish, because I don't have the room to do any more. So until the weather cooperates, which seems to be
never
nasty for everybody right now.
Yeah, because you're going to get like 2 weeks of decent weather before the 100 degrees pop up.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Johnny in here. Good evening.
Hey.
Where are you?
I put it in the chat.
He's in that fancy hotel of his. I see it now.
I missed your chat.
I'm camped out with the cattle. So,
How's that going? What's the temperatures?
It's about 22 right now or something like that. We've got calves dropping like crazy, so I'm just kind of out here watching them, making sure everybody's good. So
Lacey P. Summers is in here, and there's another one that, let me see who it was. There's Evelyn Newman, and there was one more. Let's Trade Paint. Thank you guys for coming in. And Bill, my Alaska is actually here with us. How you doing?
Good. How about you guys?
hey, Bill.
Hey,
Well,
John.
now
only
we
have
all
one more
feel
month
bad
of-
about complaining about cold weather. Bill's in here. We're not allowed to talk about it. We get no comparison.
You know,
Yeah,
once
it's warmed up
20
to almost 13 degrees today.
Once it's 20 degrees, it doesn't matter. I mean, 20 degrees or 15 below, it's all the same to me. We still have ice on the ground from 3 weeks ago.
Hey, so do I.
In fact, it was hiding under snow. And I went to go, I was taking Dexter back into the house, and good thing the truck was parked there, because I don't know how I would have gotten off the ground without it. Because I went down.
Yeah.
That ice was right under the about 3 inches of snow.
How much ice did y'all get over that way, Mountain Home way, Jason?
Very little. It was more of a slushy ice. It kind of came in as freezing rain last night. So early this morning, kind of before the sun had came up, it was pretty slick. But once the sun started coming up, it switched to just straight rain and started melting it. So by the time you walked outside, you were pretty good. But
Sounded like the same thing we got here then.
yeah.
Bill's not in the loft anymore.
Nope, I'm downstairs.
You guys are also, I'm the only one that didn't switch it up this week.
Well, I'm in our camper. So I got it burn out the breakers. The breakers burn out on the pole out there. And so what the bad part about that was the leg was still hot and the breaker was burnt in half, and half the breaker was still stuck on the legs. So I had to take some needle nose and wrap them all up with black tape real good to make sure that I didn't have any metal, because everything was live while I was doing all this stuff. And I had to jerk those things out of there and then go down to Lowe's and figure out which breakers these things have and put new breakers in. But I've got it working now. I know what the problem is. I got this plate. I was never designed to run this camper off of that little plug-in out there that I'm running it off of. So the wiring is too small, which causes heat, which is causing this problem. So I've got to fix that pretty soon. So, but anyway.
I'm glad that you said you prepared and pre-wrapped pliers, because I've had a couple pair of pliers that I'm like, there's a rubber grip on it. It's good. You find out real quick if there's a slice in that piece of rubber. When you go ahead and you're like, I'm safe. It's rubber coated. Grab it. You're like, no,
Rubber
it's cracked in that one.
Say that again. It's rubber coated.
Yeah. Sometimes those rubbers ain't all of what you thought they was going to be. They get.
I wasn't going there with that. I just thought it was funny how you said it's rubber coated.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I had a screwdriver in that box, and it has a rubber handle on it and everything. You're thinking, it's all good. Well, I didn't realize that it was one of those screwdrivers that you could beat on with a hammer, so it was steel at the very end of it.
Oh.
Because I actually touched that.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah, he got my attention real fast. Luckily.
Jennifer Ocean Homestead's in here.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
So,
Jennifer's telling you, Johnny, to make sure you post a video which baby cow becomes Jennifer Sparkles.
I
Now
can't.
you've been naming your. You've
I
been
can't
naming
see
your.
the chat right now, so I could see her saying that Jennifer Sparkles calf. No, we got another one, but I don't think I'm gonna name him Jennifer. I really not.
Hey, a boy named Sue.
Well,
That's
if
your
you
name, Jennifer.
if you have one in April, and it's a male, you can call it April.
You know, I was all set to name it February, but you know, it was a boy, and I thought February sounds more female. So we should have another one in February anyway. So maybe it'll
Could
be
have just
female.
called it Febs.
Yeah, Feb.
I don't think the cow really cares, though.
Yeah,
Tell you the
I
truth.
don't care.
No, we're in the.
It's not until you take him to the sale barn and all of a sudden you've got to write, well, you named that cow to run the line on it. You're like, I'm not sure I want to be okay with it. These aren't the fellas at the sale barn that are acceptable to some things.
Yeah, we're in the process now. I've got the dozer at the shop, getting a bunch of little things that needed to be fixed up on it, fixed right now. And I'm getting ready to go up. We've got 90 acres where we live. Yeah, I'm down here with the cattle. We got 30 acres here, and we got 90 acres up where we live. And I told the wife, I said, you know, I'm going to start clearing that, and I'm going to put cattle up here. So we're going to keep all of the heifers that are born, plus some of the older ones that we have right now, to create a different cattle herd to take up there. So that's my plan. 2 cattle herds, one down here and one up there. So
Who
Are you going to be able to count all those every day? 2 herds?
surely. Surely. I
Hugo
mean,
Homestead is in here.
I sleep there. I sleep there most every day, and I drive down here every day. So I'm sure I can figure out how to count them because I'm in both places every single day. So, but anyway.
Farmall Fanatic is shy. He doesn't want to be on camera. Somebody must have asked him if he'd pop up on the panel.
See, Johnny, you've been playing a little bit on the old small tire, working out pretty good for you.
Oh boy, struggle bus the other day. I took it to a prep track, and I ran faster than I've ever been without nitrous. So you know, I was really feeling good about it until, you know, I had the struggle bus video that I did the other day. So but I do have an actual race coming up on the 22nd where that tire's got to work. It's got to work. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see what happens. I think I learned some the other day.
Yeah, this is a hard time of year. I mean, with the bipolar weather, and I mean those runs and those tires are very temperature intolerant, I guess. Like, you know, a couple degrees could make a big difference.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you get it set up running on a 65-degree day and you get an 80-degree day or a 30-degree day.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah. But my thought is everybody else's has the same deal. Everybody else we're all running on the same tire, so everybody, you know, it's just who's gonna figure it out. You know, I'm not saying I'm gonna be the guy that figures it out, but you know, I'm gonna be there.
I say it all the time though. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. Like, let me guess the right thing, I'll be fine.
Yeah. The one thing I have on all those other guys that are in the class that I'm going to be running is without a power adder. If nobody can use their power adder because it overpowers the track, my car actually has more power without a power adder than any of those other cars. So if we were to all run naturally aspirated, and we were on a good track, I'd outrun all of them. So if they can't use it, and I can run motor only like I was doing the other day, maybe I can get down it. I don't know. We'll see. So,
Are you familiar with Farm Mall Fanatic, Johnny? Because he goes to tractor auctions and all kinds of stuff.
I've heard the name. I've not had him in a live or anything like that, like on panel or anything.
No, he says he doesn't do panels anyway. But his channel is all. Anytime I've watched him, he was always at an auction for Farm Mall related, tractors and.
I love farm mall tractors. They're so cool.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, we got one. So our post pounder tractors are Farm Mall.
Yep. How's old Blue? Jason?
Mine, well, funny you should ask. I'm hoping that the weather breaks enough tomorrow. And maybe I can start it. It's I've discovered that it is definitely a southern tractor.
The gel
was not built in any way, shape, or form for cold weather. So I don't have a block heater. I don't have glow plugs. I don't have any of it. And having the skid plate underneath makes it a little interesting. The one day I literally did start a fire underneath it to try to warm it up because it was down the hill, and I'm like, I really need it up here. So I had to run a fire under it for about 2 hours to get it warm enough to start it. But yeah, it does not like the cold weather. And we were gone for a week, and then we got home, and it's been nothing but rain. And I looked at it today, and I was like, we should probably start this tractor. And then the goats hollered and chickens crowed, and I walked totally away from it and forgot about it.
Yeah. I had to do some stuff to my Kubota too during the really cold weather. Not this. This stuff it's cold, but it's not like it was 2 weeks ago or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
It was horrible. But
yeah, so
we were colder than Alaska. That's when we were colder than where Bill was.
Yeah, it warmed up here. Everything's a sheet of ice that still has snow or ice on the ground.
Yeah, that's when Oklahoma was colder than Alaska. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but
yeah, true story. But
you don't have to make a habit of it either.
Reverend Joe, I always wondered about those cranks on those tractors. You got knocked out by one, huh? Crank handle didn't release from the crank shaft when it started. Eesh. I kind of fear that with the lathe. I think about that happening with the lathe. You have that the tool that you use to tighten up the chuck, and if you forget to take that out and turn it off, you're in trouble. You're gonna have a chuck in the head.
Well, and I'd seen Jennifer talking about Paul Case. You just had to request car part and tractor talk today. I'd seen Paul's video, or actually it wasn't Paul Case. Sorry, it was Derek Fowler. I'd seen was still having troubles after he built his carb. But it did seem today was a lot of tractor related things coming out today.
Is there gas in the tractor? Might not be good. Fire under it. Oh yeah, put fire.
There ain't no gas in it.
That ain't got no gas.
It's a diesel tractor. It's good. Just throw a fire under it. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah. I actually was looking at it today. That's why I didn't start it. I was actually on the phone with my brother when I went over and was looking at the tractor. And what made me think I needed to start it was I had been doing some digging. But it got to be, I was into that really wet clay. And I was looking at my bucket today because there's a couple hydraulic leaks on it, so everything starts bleeding down when I sit for a little while, and I totally forgot that the bucket is about halfway full of packed clay right now, and of course it's in the up position, so I'm like, that can't be good. I do need to get it fired up and get that out of there, or it's going to be a nightmare to get it out of the bucket.
Yeah. Yep. You can repack those cylinders and stuff like that. You ever done one?
I don't think I haven't done one on any of mine here. When I've had the cylinder issues, I've taken it in because I've got a lot of mechanical ability, but I also know the things that I'm allowed to take apart without a shop where I can have a somewhat clean environment, and what I want to just take apart out in the mud, in the open, and dust and dirt. So,
yeah,
I think right now, and I might even need to look into getting. So my backhoe runs off a PTO hydraulic pump, and one of those fittings, which I thought just for convenience is supposed to swivel, and then I got looking at it a little more, and I'm like, nope, that's not supposed to swivel. And so it leaks. I've got a leak down from there, but I'm thinking about looking at getting a bigger pump because it doesn't seem to have the power that it should coming off my tractor. I mean, being a 75 horse tractor running that PTO at 2000 RPM, that thing should be able to pick a car off the ground. And I struggle with a couple buckets of, if I got a real full heavy bucket of clay on it, it doesn't want to lift it. So I'm thinking the pump might be getting wore out.
Yeah, you can shim those pumps, and you can get more out of it by shimming them. And I'd have to look at it to see, how to do yours. But I know that, like on my Kubota, I can shim and I can make the loader work harder. Like more. You get to a point where, like, I've got my Kubota to where it'll lift more than it should. It'll lift enough to get you in trouble. Let's just put it that way. And they're not designed to really do that. They're not really designed to. They set those at a certain level because they know that you can, if you're not really watching it, you can end up, hurting yourself. So they have limits and stuff like that, but you can shim those pumps and make them work harder. And it sounds like yours might be shimmed down or something like that because it's just clear. It's just clearances and stuff. So you can probably make what I'm getting at. You can probably make that pump work hard enough for your tractor.
And I'm thinking that fitting. I was actually talking to my neighbor guy about it because he wants me to come over and dig a trench for him on some projects he's got going on. And we got looking at it because, I mean, my thought was originally, well, just come hook up the back, put the backhoe attachment on your tractor. You got the 3-point of PTO. And he's like, well, it works fine on yours. I'm afraid that if I put it on mine, karma says, hey, I'm going to break and blow everything up. And I said, okay, that's fair. I know it'll run on mine, but when we noticed that fitting wasn't supposed to swivel, I looked and I think I'm going to try to get some adapters and change it out where it's a quick release, doing the quick connect. That way, when I go to detach it from the tractor, I can disconnect that pump altogether and kind of set that up out of the way. But then that locks the fluid in. And as long as none of my cylinders, because that's been my other thing of looking for a bigger pump, was I was like, if I pump more fluid, how many more seals am I going to blow out the end of this thing? Because one of the stabilizers
it's all pressure, man. It's all about pressure. So You know, I mean, a little pump can have a lot of pressure, or a big pump can have a lot of pressure. You just, you know, it's kind of like the compression on an engine. You can have a lot of compression in a small block, and you can have a lot in a big block. So, but it is what you got to work. Mostly more fluid, more volume means more. I guess you'd say speed. You can work it faster and stuff like that. But you know, as far as having the power, it'll be slow, but it should have the power to, you know, do what you want to do.
Yeah, and for the most part, I've been able to do. There was only one big chunk of sandstone that I pulled out that I really thought that backhoe attachment should have been able to scoop underneath it. I lift it up out of the hole, and it just wasn't there. And I see Farmall talking about weak hydraulics, check your fluid level. At one point, I wasn't paying enough attention, and because I had the leaks, I didn't have enough fluid in it. But even with it being full, and that's always the fun part, was I was looking in my book to check fluid level. Well, at what point do you check it? Because if everything's retracted, but then you still have cylinders that are extended. So I think the first time I filled that hydraulic reservoir, I went through and I made sure every cylinder, the cylinder arm was fully retracted in every cylinder. So it was kind of a weird position for the backhoe to be in. And then I filled it. And then the minute I went to work, that overflow, I probably lost 3 gallons of fluid all over the ground. And I'm like, okay, fill it in the stored position. So some cylinders are extended and some are retracted, but fill it there, and I don't waste as much because, well, that hydraulic oil is not free.
Yeah, that and RPM. Have you tried more RPM on it?
I've maxed it out. My max, which I need to make a little bit of an adjustment on the tractor. My max is about 2,000, maybe 2,100 RPM.
Really?
And that's my full throttle, and I'm like,
yeah, I think my PTO runs at 20. Like for brush hogging and stuff like that, I think I run mine's at 25 or 2,500, 25 or 2,600 RPM. So
well, and it shows because I think which attachment is it? I think the brush hog says like
400. I'm sorry, 24.
Yeah. So there is a little symbol, and it's right at the 2,000 RPM on my gauges, and it says that's the 540 PTO RPM, which is the max for the brush hog, and that's where it's at. But it's still like for the brush hog that works great, but I think running any of the other attachments, I need a little more. And I've looked at it a little bit, and I'm like, I just need to tweak this. But then in the moment, I'm like, I'll just deal with it. Let's go. And
we got a couple of other people in the chat here. We got to acknowledge. We have Drunken Chef Barbecue, and there's Troy Sutton and Belt Loop 29. That's Gary is in here, and so is Amy.
Hey, Gary.
Of Leonard Mountain Home,
everyone.
And Duncan
Hey,
Family Farm.
Hey, Duncan family, we're gonna see maybe Amy and Chris and Duncan family this Saturday, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you guys got a dinner there locally, don't you, Johnny?
Yeah, we're going to JL's Barbecue over in Pryor.
Wow.
And it's just Sean. I saw Sean in the chat. Him and Kelly are coming. Paul Case is going to meet us there. Maybe Dale and Nana. Tried to talk Tony and Angie into coming, but Tony's all hung up on it's a 2-hour drive.
Well, I did see I seen Mike and Terry. That's what I can't remember who mentioned it in their live that we were just on, but Terry put it in her thing. So unless something comes up, I think they might need to be there.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I wasn't able to be in there live because I was out here. I was out here with this cow, but I messed all the lives up until right now tonight, and I thought, well, I'll jump on here for a little bit. But good to see you, Jason. Good to see you, Bill, and good to see you, Brian.
Same here, Johnny.
Absolutely. Been forever since we've been up on a panel like this, and
It has been. It's been a long time. Too long.
yeah, much overdue.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at some of the meetups, whichever meetups that happens to be, or whatever. I'm sure. I know I'm going. We're going to Ten Killer. We're going to Mid America. I think we're going to go over to Jan's. I think we're probably not going to make the prior. What's that one? That Okie homesteading thing. I don't think we're going to make that one this year.
Gonna make the Alaska one on June 21st.
The Alaska one on June 21st. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
be there. Never mind. No,
I'll have to look and see if I drive through fire when I go down to
we'll be in
Mid-America.
Alaska though in August,
Right?
right?
Yep.
We will.
Won't all of you guys have to be there the night before, or will you be in the same areas, like as far as hotels and stuff, the night before you take off?
We're going to arrive one day early because I haven't lost anything in Seattle, Washington. You know what I'm saying? So since I haven't lost anything there, I really don't have any reason to like run around there at night or anything. So I'm just going to kind of go there, get in the hotel, get up next day, get on the ship. You know, that's my plan. So
I feel you, Johnny. I've had a couple places in my life that are people like, hey, you should really go there. It's a man. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been there. It means I didn't lose anything to have to go back to it. For I'm good. We're just gonna knock this up as a probably not gonna happen.
This
Yeah,
might
well,
be a good time to go visit DC, though. You only got 4 years to do it.
I've been to DC.
I haven't been there yet, and I would really like to go see the museums and stuff.
I've been to the White House. I've been to Congress. I went into where they actually have when Congress meets. I've been in there. And no, it wasn't on January 6th when I was there or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I went there on a tour of basically Congress and how things work and stuff like that. We went to Lincoln Memorial. We went to Lincoln's birthplace. Actually, we went to I believe it was Lincoln's. No, maybe not Lincoln's. Maybe it was Washington's.
Washington.
I don't know. Yeah,
Washington is just outside of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it was a cabin.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, because I think
with a
one
bunch
Lincoln's in somewhere in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lincoln was born in
Lincoln's
Illinois.
over in the Midwest. But anyway, I went to that. But I can tell you one place that you'll never catch me ever. I mean, mark your words.
Federal prison.
Mark my words. You'll never catch me in California, ever.
Or New York City. I don't need to go to New York City either.
No, I won't be there either.
I used to want to go to New York City, and then I didn't.
Why don't you know it's going to be a MCMA?
Now what?
Make California great again. MCGA.
You never know.
California
You never
great
know.
again.
I think Bill's got some frostbite on the brain. He was out there trying to unthaw pipes or something, and he's like, he got too much cold.
No, they're going to make California great again.
Jeff Killian is in the house.
Yeah.
Good evening, and thanks for coming in.
I think California is broken.
Yeah.
There ain't even enough duct tape and zip ties to fix it.
We used to live there when it was good. California used to be good.
Was that back?
They did
whenever-
just open up tours to the White House.
Before 1980.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it back when the Clampetts lived there?
Yeah, Jethro Bodine.
Hey, you never know. People might smarten up. People might just smarten up. I mean, I don't know how you can look at what's going on with Doge and not, even if you are a hard left person, I don't know how you can look at some of that stuff and try to dismiss it in your brain.
They're having a big press conference tomorrow, and they're gonna name names and groups and stuff who's getting all this money.
Well, it's like if you Congress has all right, they have the senators have 174,000 a year's salary or something
Salary,
like that.
yeah.
Which is
Something
not
like-
the way
yeah.
it's supposed to be. Originally, it was not supposed to be like that. It was, I mean,
Nope.
you work your normal job, and then whenever they needed, to vote on something, you just showed up to vote. It wasn't your career. Well, it's gone beyond that. Well, $174,000 a year salary. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you end up with millions of dollars.
Some of them are billionaires.
Like AOC, I'll give you an example. AOC,
AOC.
did not even have enough money to rent an apartment in Washington, D.C. when she was elected. Now she is worth millions.
Yeah, like
And
$7 million or something like that.
so how in the world, if you make $174,000 a year and you've been in Congress for 4 years or 5 that she's been in
Something
there,
like that. Yeah.
that you could have millions of dollars. How's that work?
USAID.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, when there's not, and I think that's the thing when everyone's freaking out about Doge. All Doge is what's supposed to be part of the government system,
Right.
the checks and balances. They're just finally holding people accountable for your actions. Like, hey, you said you spent billions on this program. Where did it go?
Right.
Hey, where's it at? And now they're all freaking out about, well, wait a minute, you can't. Yeah, we're supposed to. Like, you shouldn't be making 6 figures to be a politician. Like Johnny was saying, hey, this is your part-time job.
Yeah.
But the American people over time and generations have gotten lazy and said, well, we don't want to go and do this town meeting. We don't want to go and do this state meeting. Individual people, their time is too valuable to them to go worry about, but they're the first ones to complain that they don't have good roads and schools and, things aren't allowed in their townships. So they're like, nah, you government people just handle it. You know what's good for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Okay. Hey, for all of you there, go ahead and enjoy your California property because that's where you need to live. Like, well, you like-minded individuals. So yeah, putting the checks and balances in. But yeah, you see, I've been enjoying Facebook lately of all the meltdowns. It is
You need to get an X account.
Oh,
You need to get an X account if you don't have one. Holy cow.
I've seen a little bit on there. I'm still trying to figure out the whole X Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain can only handle a few things at once. And
Hollywood is not glamorous. Jennifer. None of that stuff is. I mean, when you get there and see it in person, it just looks dirty. Disneyland used to be a place you went and it was immaculate all the time. The last time we went, we were like, man, this is starting to look like a standard park, like going to Six Flags or something. It's just not. It's just not as nice as it used to be.
Yeah.
Nope, they went woke. So
I mean, there's actually, I mean, like you would see like a post or pillar that had the decorative stuff on and would literally have dust on it. And that was something you would not see back in the day.
no.
Right. Well, nobody has pride in ownership anymore because
That's
there's
true.
an entitlement. We're supposed to
Yeah.
just be given everything. Why do I need to work? Just give me money because I want it and I need it. Like, why go get a job and work hard? Why be hungry when, well, somebody else will give me food for free? Like, the entitlement overruled all of it. And that's the ones that are crying the most right now because they're like, look at the amount of freakouts. As soon
Oh,
as
yeah.
Trump said, hey, guess what? If you're a government employee, you're going into the office. This whole work from home remote, not happening.
A large portion of them had 2 jobs the whole time.
They're paying
yeah.
for those offices to just sit there empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good to see it. I mean, Mike and I were just talking about last night, you know, we got a new VA secretary that's coming in, you know, as a veteran to be able to take care of the veterans and do all those things. We got a new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, coming in. And oh man, he's rolling heads right now, which is amazing.
I can't wait to see him take care of that.
Yeah.
He dropped the hammer on all the woke BS already.
Oh, he did.
He canceled all holidays that single out any type of ethnic group or anything like that.
Oh, and removing all the DEI stuff, all that stuff that shouldn't have even been a thing. Like you're especially in the military, but then if you're a business, you want the most qualified individuals in the best position you possibly could have. Why do any of these factors that DEI come in with that shouldn't be a thing?
Right.
If I'm a business owner, if you're qualified and you're the best person out of 5 people that I'm looking at hiring for one position, I'm going to hire the best one on their abilities, not anything else. Like, that's just smart business. But it's padding governors and Senate holders and Congress people and all these politicians to influence, well, we have so much stuff. Well, if that's not supposed to matter, why are you making money off of it?
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Based on merit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, if it doesn't help us kill people on the battlefield, it no longer exists in the DOD.
Yeah. And that's the way it needs to be.
I mean,
well,
what was the military for? You know,
it was always my understanding that when you're in the military, everything's got to be uniform. You're not about self. You're about everybody, and you're a team. So if you're sitting there worrying about your stuff being a bunch, you're not paying attention to what's going on in your job.
No, and it is very distracting. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I retired at the most perfect opportune time because it's before it went to this all woke. And I would have not, like, if I didn't retire when I did, I would have been fired without a compensation. It would have just been like, nope, you hurt too many people's feelings. You're getting discharged. We're not giving you nothing.
And a lot of people won't enlist because of it.
Enlistments are through the roof. They can't keep up from the last 2 months. Yeah, now.
Yeah, now.
December and January.
The last term, not the last election cycle, for sure.
No, the last 4 years, they couldn't get enough people.
Right.
You know, when you see military men getting these awards by Democratic people, they look depressed, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting this and I got to receive it from this guy.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Pam Bondi's press conference today?
I haven't watched it, no.
Look it up. There's definitely a new sheriff in town. It almost reminded me of Dodge City, and back in the day, new sheriff comes into town and just like drops the hammer. Yeah,
Well,
check out her press conference.
I
That's
heard
right.
that, believe it or not, two companies are dismantling that you wouldn't even think would do it. Are dismantling the DEI policy right now, and that's Disney and Google.
Yeah, everyone is. Everyone.
Yeah.
Target is doing away with it. About the only one that's not is Costco.
Yeah, Costco.
Costco's
You
doubling
hear that,
down
Jesse?
on it.
Jesse, are you out there in the chat? Jesse and Lisa? Costco.
That's a good thing that I think the closest one for us is like 2 hours away. Somebody was actually asking us that the other day. They're like, hey, where's your nearest? We don't have a Costco. We don't have a Sam's Club. Our nearest discount grocery really would be Aldi, and that's still an hour away.
We have 4 Costcos in Anchorage.
We have nothing around you. I went there. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, we have 4 Costco's in Anchorage.
Like that old cartoon. Another tree.
We actually have 2 regular Costco's, a business Costco, and a home goods Costco. There's only 2 home goods Costco's in the world right at the moment. The third one's coming to Honolulu pretty soon.
My Wild Home is in here. Good evening, and thanks for coming in. She's on the phone, so she won't be commenting, but she's here to support. Thank you.
Hey, there's Suburban Hillbilly. Howdy.
Yeah.
So,
Hello.
Said,
How did I miss that one?
every once in a while I have to flip back, go into this weird deal of comments. I can't see you guys, but I can see my comments right now.
Oh, from your phone, yeah.
Well, I'm on an iPad, but they said, I read somewhere that after 6 years in office, members of Congress receive their full salary for life.
Yeah.
6 years? I thought it was 4.
Well, congressmen are 4, senators are 6.
Wow, in a regular
Okay.
job, you would have been fired at the 5th year, so they didn't have to do that.
Well, yeah, because other than the military, where you've got to do your 20 years to get a full retirement, name a corporation out there right now, or a company, a factory, any kind of business that you can do 20 or 30 years. Like, nobody is offering pensions of any way, shape, or form other than if you invest in a 401k, which is your
Right.
own personal. You're not getting a pension. You're living off your investments. There's nobody other than the military right now, unless you're in
Government.
Senate, Congress, or government.
And they did that on purpose to quit giving out pensions.
Yeah.
Yeah, auto workers used to get great benefit. I don't know what the situation is now, but I don't think it's as good as it was when my dad was working there.
Well,
Oh,
In
I
fact,
guess
they
school
would
teachers
probably
are
try
government.
they try not to put you on full time and all kinds of mess now. So you can't benefit.
Gary at Belt Loop says he's working for a mental hospital, but it is a state mental hospital.
It's pseudo government.
But it's still, that's part of the government thing. But
Just like teachers are pseudo government.
yeah, but even teachers running, their teachers aren't getting. Teachers aren't on a pension plan for the most part, unless they have to do more of a 401k. What's that?
Yeah.
Johnny?
Okay, it is 11:01 for me, 10:01 for you guys, and we got to go because
10 o'clock. Yeah.
Peter at Old Man King Homestead is on next. You're going to want to pop over there. And I want to thank everybody that came into my chat and the moderators for protecting my channel. And thank you, Jason, Johnny, and Bill for coming up on panel and talking with me this evening. Enjoyed it. And we will see you next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Central. Bye for now.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.